Sandy Martin Paye, my advocate, a war survivor, an educator, a mother, a wife, a grandmother, and I speak for those who have not yet found the strength to stand up for themselves, and myself too. Welcome to Second Thought. Welcome to our Justice Army. Okay? Now, I'm going to start this conversation with Front Page Africa, Councillor Tiawan Gonclos, conversation with Front Page Africa and where we are. Tonight, I'm actually talking about what we have not learned from history and what we continue, how we continue to fail as a nation, why we don't solve problem, and we don't elect leaders that will solve our problem. And it looks like we really are not interested in changing the future or the trajectory of the future and putting Liberia on the map. Those who came before us yesterday, who was in charge, they justify what good job that they did. So they just great job that they did. Then those who are there now justifying what they are doing, the things that they are doing. We all know that 2016, we said the government received all this money and nothing really changed in the country. So we want to change. So we brought in the life of the CDC party. And almost every day was a chaos. And today, those who benefited, those who feel it is the political party, it is not about Liberia and the struggle of the nation. It's not about changing the nation, that she is respected, that her children are respected, that life within her walls are respected. It's about the individual that we worship as the quote unquote leaders. Okay. I'm going somewhere with this. I remember now I'm hearing Liberians are saying, if you're not standing with your country because your country is being invaded, then you are unpatriotic. How is that true? How is it true that somebody said, if you're going to send our children, our husband to the war front, send those who are making $89,000, those who are making $10,000 and $15,000 ahead. These are not business owners. These are not entrepreneurs, we say in the larger sense. These are not people who bring to the table something that other Liberians cannot bring to the table. These are people who are chosen because they support a political party or because they're sycophants. How is that? If I say that, I'm not saying that, others are saying that. The essence of leadership is to solve problems. So let me chronicle some of the problems that we endure, that we thought the last government did not qualify. And I'm going to go backward, but I'm going to start from we are government. Rampant corruption. arrogance and entitlement. At least that's where it was said. That's where we're exhibited. For order to disappear within 4 months, I mean, within 1 month, a week apart. Money, according to the Crow report, I still have my report upstairs, and we can find a report that money was unaccounted for. Malu said the money was taking the pickup truck to Thomas Falat school. And the current VP and Fala, all of them were mentioned in the Kuku Tumoku. We have extreme fire running up and down in the country, killing people. I remember one lady from Nima County graduated, her whole family came to town, and they were left in the house where they had carbon monoxide poisoning. Another group fired, and we're seeing fire all throughout the last year, the year before. That problem is still a problem. It has not been acknowledged. We cry when people die. We cry when the fire happens. And the budget allocation comes. Nothing is put there to deter that. Firefighters, maybe we add another 50,000 to the budget of the firefighter, but mostly to paid salary. We saw a cameraman become a administrator who have no inkling on fire signs, for that matter. And all the money is put towards salary, none for program, no equipment. When I go to class, I have whiteboard. I have projector screen. I have dry eraser. I got spray to clean up. I have books. I have book in the system that I can access, and I have a website and have different apps that I can access, and I have access to different applications and learning tool and learning community to help make my work easier, to also help me keep learning as I teach my students. Okay, so there's a way that if there's a problem that I need help, okay, to solve certain problem, there's a place I can go to get those help. There are resource centers I can go to. I can, like today we were discussing, is to teach Shintoism and Confucianism as religion or philosophy. We contacted a candidate because we are taught it between it being a religion and a philosophy, to ask questions to verify how they want us to teach it. Okay, so there's a media contact place to go to make sure these things are verified and we get the help that we need. Now, before we go on, I'm going to go ahead and share. Lord have mercy, our country. I'll be right. For me, as a we are yet, as a nation, for me, I'm not sure of other people, but as a nation, as a citizen of Liberia, I am yet to get the agenda of this government, where it is headed. The name or the aim of whatever they're planning has changed and continued to change over time. We started with roll. Then we came back to arrest. Then the arrest was added another hour. Then we are hearing a different name. What does that mean to the Liberian person? I know somebody will come ask me and say, that's not what's happening. This is the immediate problem. There are so many immediate problems. We fought war in Liberia. We crossed borders, not one border, borders. I remember when the Ivorians came for us, and they said Liberians were attacking them, they were crossing into the boundary. I remember finding means to get my family out of Ivory Coast, get my sister, my little brother out of Ivory Coast and to Guinea. I remember that. We saw all the vulnerability. In the last years, at least the last 8-9 years, Liberians crying at every border, especially between Nimba and Grand Jide. You talk about a Liberian complaining how foreigners are coming into the forest and they're digging all over the country and putting chemical in the ground that gets to go into the water main, and it's causing a lot of problems. All of a sudden, we are waking up to Domoya. When some of us were telling you about the country where the having hope and the games that were being played, and we were not forthcoming. We wanted to grab you and grab the whoever can give us the first money. This is what it's about. So we can go buy Rolex watch it. So we can go buy new cars, $45,000, $65,000 cars. You live in a country that 64% of your population live in abject poverty as a leader, and it does not bother you. Your army makes well, $150, $200 a month. When they get sick, they have to come on Facebook to beg for the hospital bill to be paid. Your police, some of them have to sell drugs, steal from people, beg, harass Liberians so as to make it. Whenever I'm in Liberia, police don't ask me why I'm in the street. When I see them, I usually roll my car down and give them what I have. I'm not bribing them. I'm telling them, thank you. Thank you. You know, when I listened to Omen Boaka in 2017 debate, when he stated, he clearly defined our problem. He clearly did. He clearly defined our problem. Spending, living beyond our means. Spending money that we don't have. Decentralization. I watch those who are benefited from our little counties, the wealth that we've been blessed with, that they have used it as curse against us. I hear them say, what are they doing in Monrovia? Let them leave. You know, this warning king with Ambassador McCarthy. When Ambassador McCarthy, as a ambassador who was stationed in Montserrat, when he took his time and he traveled the in and out of, I mean, the length and breadth of Liberia, okay, to tell our government, Monrovia is not Liberia. And the funding that were coming in the country, the people were taking it and using it for themselves instead of spending it on the country. Money that were being sent for women's health, money that were being sent for education, money that were being sent for security. Our people were dividing among themselves. That we need to look beyond that Canada and US are friendly, but both have borders that is paved, that you enter. Even when you have US citizenship, you show your passport. If you go between Michigan right there, there's also another border there. Everybody that we talk about Mexico, when they saw the vulnerability, they put it up. But you sit in Monrovia, you collect everything out of every country, you bring it to Monrovia, and you play big boys and big girls. And then you ask those who just only came, you know, those of us who teach history or social study, okay? We talk about the human environment. And my sixth grader, my seventh grader, and my eighth grader, yes, they can tell you why people move. Why people move. If you ask yourself, your lawmaker majority of them, why do people move the way they move? Why people go to places the way they go to places? Some of them will not be able to explain the science behind or the mindset. People move because people are always looking for survivorship, where their life can be easy and better. You tell Liberians who have left the country and gone to places like Ghana that have 24/7 electricity, that has water, okay, to come back to Liberia and go live up interior and start going to live off of the land. But you are contracting all the wealth in the country and you're dividing among yourselves. The Supreme Court and the other 3 or 4 level justices or judicial system, okay? The legislature, both houses, because Liberia has a bicameral legislature, that is the upper and the lower house, okay? Then you have the executive, which the president is the head of, okay? You have over, what, about 5,000 positions that he alone appoints. The government is not for the people. You see, Mandani in New York, the city mayor, you know why he speaks the way he speaks? Because he's not answerable to the president. Yes, he respects the president because the federal government is hired. But the people is close to the people. Thank you, Wayne. Okay. Now, we used to elect our city mayor. And I believe if the superintendent is like our governor, the superintendent need to be elected. The government need to be decentralized, okay? And the candidates need to pay their taxes to the central government, okay? Then use our money in each candidate. It becomes a competition. Each state in America is run as a country, okay? Where is Prince? But I'm going to play this, then we'll continue with what is happening in Guinea, and I will tell you my thought where I am at this point, okay? I will tell you where I am. And I will play some of these collection of nuggets that I collected when Papi Bouaka, hey, Brother Japa, when Bouaka first took over. When he was telling us the country does not even have helicopter in a country 200 years. He did not buy a helicopter the first time. He bought himself $1 million car, although he had just stated that he would rather wheelbarrow to work. When Ellen Johnson Solito in 1990 leveled the mansion, we will rebuild it. She got billion. She didn't rebuild the mansion. They got million. They have spent at least, I don't know, maybe $10 million or more on the mansion. Nobody lives there. The president should be living in the mansion. We should not have to fix president houses, vice president houses. You know, in the United States or in a country, the president, the moment you're elected, you get security detail, you stay in your house, they're not fixing your house. You move to the mansion, the governor mansion or the president mansion. The vice president also has a place to reside. We can't continue to fix everybody's house, expanding on them, and the country is losing money. The essence of leadership to solve problems. Why I don't believe we need to surrender to Guinea. But the question that begs an answer is, what is the strategy? I know in few days, the legislature will be asking, demanding, not asking, for money to get new cars. But over 64% of the population is living in abject poverty, cannot find food to eat. Over 300,000 and counting are addicted to drugs, which is the residual impact of the war and hardship. And when people are discouraged, lack of hope. We know 1 in every 3 Liberian child is suffering from malnutrition. This is the new report from last month. We know there are over 4,000 cases of rape and sodomization in Liberia, including babies as young as a few months old. And nothing is happening. Little boys are being sodomized on an industrial scale. What is the role of the government? Why our borders are not protected? Why are you guys living in Monrovia? Why are you guys getting a $45,000 cars every 2 years? Why there are no schools going on? We fought 14 years of civil war. How many K1 through 12 schools have we built? We're in the digital age. You see right here. Although Iran leaders, all their leaders were killed at the same time, at least the top of them. The last time when I posted when that stuff happened in Iran, that one of the countries that I study, that I teach my children, and I was talking about the fundamental belief and the hierarchy and what they have in place. And I say this is not a 5-man role. And people are like, what are you talking about? What you know? And in Liberia, most Liberians are like they know everything. Some of them never left the country, they will never leave. And they had never read more than 10 books, or they've never read books outside of where they read at school. So they don't understand how the rest of the world works. Okay. Most of them know about Plato's and Socrates and all of these things, but they don't know their own African philosophers. They don't. Where is this man? But I'm going to play this just as a reminder. I wanted to bring this to bear now. My time here is 1 hour. I'm waiting for Prince Nelson to come here, and I'm not seeing him. I thought I just did this. Okay, let me see if I can put it here. Oh, I guess that's it. Oh, that's how it look like when you post it. Okay, let me see if I can post it. Okay, just give me 1 second. Oh, Rodney. Excuse me, everybody. Okay. Give me 1 second. I have no copyright to this video. This is credit to Front Page Africa, and I'm playing this. So let's listen here.
Lawyer and former Solicitor General Gunglo, longtime human rights lawyer and former Solicitor General, says police have failed to provide the full DNA investigative report that cleared former Deputy Minister Bryant McGill in a rape case involving a 14-year-old girl. Police say DNA testing conducted abroad and cell phone data excluded McGill from the alleged crime and led them to issue what they described as a police confirmation clearance. Civil society groups say the case remains open and transparency is critical to maintaining public trust in sexual violence investigations. For more on this story, go to frontpageafricaonline.com.
Thank you, everyone. And I'm going to stop here. So cell phone data cannot exclude somebody, Gregory Coleman. Cell phone data or information on cell phone. Sometimes I leave my cell phone at home. It's not on me. So if the phone is not on me, you're not going to get information from there. You're not going to get information from there. And I don't trust y'all because you have access to call to delete data, a system to go into the system and delete it. The man said he had never met the girl. He lied. What did he lie? When other people saw him with the little girl and he promised to buy her copybook and buy her these things. We all know the story. Grandpa, I will do you this, I will do you that from little children to entice them, to groom them, to take advantage of them. That is the old story of Liberia. That is the old story of Liberian men, so-called bishop. So we know that. So Gregory Coleman, we need the DNA report published. The parents are telling you and the lawyer is telling you publish it. They want it. Why are you hiding it? If the child is a minor, the father is have hired a lawyer and the lawyer is requesting that you make the DNA report public. So why will you make it public? We're not taking your word for it. I just want you to know that we are not taking your word for it. Another thing is that, oh wow, the story with Samuel L. Jackson and his wife. I'm gonna start with this again. My heart goes out to a beautiful young lady. Okay, beautiful girl, very beautiful girl. I see her on Facebook with him. Look at they were all into each other. She looked like she can be a little bit shy, just from looking at her, that kind of personality. But I also believe that number one, I like to know when the police went to the house, did they have a warrant to go to the house? Somebody would say you're a woman, you're a women advocate. Why are you asking? Yes. If and I told you the story with me and my husband here in 2016, I have been elected as president of the community. And I was working on things, running up and down the stairs, and I fell down 14 steps down. My husband was in the living room on the other side. Back, I'm gonna turn this no, I can't turn this around. Until in the corner, all the way back on the other side by the other window back that way. And I'm down here on the floor. He didn't know I was there. I could not yell because every time I tried to say, my voice would touch the pain that was in my body was unbelievable. I didn't know. I had children. I had cesarean section, but that pain was beyond me. And every time I tried to say, my breath would hit my lungs. This is how bad it was. Because I have fallen in my whole side from here. My muscle has just ruptured. When he came, he tried to touch me. Finally, left the place and was coming. He said, "Yeah, you down here and tried to touch me." I'm like, that all I could say. My pressure had dropped. He had to call 911. Yes, they're asking questions. They asked me questions. I told you all the story. We all behave differently when we are faced with tragedy. You never know what your action will be. Like somebody said, if I catch my husband, the thing I will do. Or if I catch somebody did to my child, the thing I will do. When you are calculating, it's something else. when you are surprised or when you are shocked, when these things happen to you, you never know how you will react. When my father died, a lot of people thought I was just going to literally go out of my head. When my husband came and got me, I started thinking. When I walk in the house, my whole house was full. My dad died right here in this room. I quietly came in. And I sat down, hugged my siblings. I was thinking how we were going to grant my father's last will and give him a decent burial. My baby sister was here. I have came to him. I used to sing this song that my mother used to sing when we were little, which is Imano. And it's about these two identical twins who have duties to perform. I have been home a lot. My sister, my older sister, we had sent for her. She had come. My baby sister and her husband, in fact, she had left and come from Arkansas. They were here. So they would take care of my dad because the doctor had already told us we didn't have time. And it was just a few more days. All day, I didn't know. I was praying and hoping for a miracle. I prayed and I hoped for a miracle. That morning, I went sing to my dad in his ear. And the song I can't sing go, Buneyo Trao, Ayenging Buneyo Trao. It talks about this identical twin that had duty calls. The Indian people call it dogma. Even in Nepal, they call it dogma. Life duties. So one of them will go and cut and climb the palm tree to whatever he was harvesting, and the other one will be on the other side. They reach out to each other. I hear you calling me, but I have a duty to perform. I sang that song to my dad that morning and left for work. I'm told maybe I was downtown Lawrenceville when my dad took his last breath. But my husband didn't want to call me to turn around to come back. Meaning about around 5-6 minutes from the house. But they didn't trust me to turn the car around and not bang somebody. So they let me drive to work. And then my husband and my brother-in-law came to get me. When I came, my older sister, my baby sister, actually bathed my dad, made him decent before the ambulance came to pick him up. So I know when CDC first took over, that was the insult. My father died. I didn't go there. He died in Liberia. In fact, I was ashamed of my father. They didn't know I brought my father to America. I applied for over 27 people. People didn't know that. Somebody would say, where is she going with this? The essence of that, I found a place that I was thriving. And I thought to open doors for other family and family members to thrive. I brought people to this country who are not related to me. They're not my blood relatives. And they help other people, help their own family. Maybe doing much better than I am. Not jealous of them. I'm happy that they maximize the opportunity that was accorded them. But no matter what they're doing in their book, something will always link to me that is a blessing. So the essence of leadership is to solve problems. And you never know what you would do when you're faced with challenge or tragedy. That's what leaders are for. I'm going to call this man. I'm going to call Prince. Okay. Brother Patrick, your morning. Your hello. Oh, I see there are a lot of people here. I didn't even know there that many people here. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. I wanted for Prince and I to talk about. I'm trying to do more study on Liberian history and the demarcation because I study colonization, the imperialism, okay, and the partitioning in Africa. We know Ethiopia and Liberia were never colonized. We know initially the Francophone country or places that the French people colonized, like the Ivory Coast, the Guinea, okay, the Senegal. We know that these places, especially between Liberia and Guinea, during the independent movement, we know Liberia supported the colonizer to leave, okay? So there was a first demarcation, which is the partitioning, a partners during the partition. All right. We know Liberia is the oldest country. We also know that country, everything about Liberia. If you go to Library of Congress or some of the, I think, what our university that Emma Sawyer used to be teaching at. Say what our university that Emma Sawyer was teaching at. Indiana. Liberia has a lot of information there. I like to speak to issue when I have some information, but I don't want to talk on the surface. I want to talk with in-depth and information. Okay, I want to finish doing the research and I'm going to come here and we're going to talk to you. I know that land belongs to Liberia. I know initially when the French left, okay, Liberia was the first to recognize Guinea. Okay, when they say we got independent or Liberia wanted to go by herself after the American Colonization Society, England was the first. It was doing England was the one who started to acknowledge the abolition of slavery. America still wanted slaves. Up to the 1763, late 1800, all the way out, America still wanted slaves. Okay, especially in the South. So I want to focus on that, but I have an hour. My hour is almost gone. Let me see if I can get this young man out here. He was supposed to be his issue. I don't see him here yet. Then we're going to talk. Okay, let me see, where is Prince at? Prince, where are you? What was I saying? You're listening. I just got thrown off because I have a message waiting for me. Yeah, that's my representative, my congresswoman, her birthday coming up. Yes. Oh wow. I see plenty of you say, yeah, I don't see it's not here, it's not lined up here. Prince, where are you? Okay. I don't know what happened to this man. He didn't come on. Okay. He said yes, and now I can get him. So that is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up. So yeah, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the weekend. I have a gist or some inkling on where Liberia is. But you know, those of you who follow me, I always say my dad used to say, a man will size you up before your neighbor will size you up before he beats your dog. Okay, your neighbor will size you up before he beats your dog. Before I say we get to your child. Okay, so if we, the audience, and when Liberia recognized Guinea independence, the French people came back and told Liberia, on the other side, go ahead. That was Sékou Touré. Take this side of the land. And Tobin said, no, they are our brothers. Whatever it will fix later. That particular part right there. Let me explain to all of you. You know, I was hearing one of my sons say yesterday that during the demarcation or the separation or the division of countries, the wherever the origin of the river is where who owns the land. That is not a true statement. If you look at the Yazi and the Ganges that is in India, that come all the way down India, that is coming all the way up from the Himalayas, all the way up there, then it wouldn't be India. Then it won't, that river would not belong to India. They would not call it a separate river. So that's not entirely correct. Okay. During the division of because all of those places, we didn't live based on boundaries like that. We live even in other countries before all of this, like during the Ottoman Empire. Okay. We lived together as tribes. You know, sometimes that's where the Bible comes to place. You know, when they say in the Bible, you know, when the people were building the Tower of Babel, and then it got to a place, it got taller, and the language changed. There were no more unison or no unity based on the languages. We live in group. We live as people of different culture, different language. That's how we build ourselves. That's how we live together. Those who spoke the same tribe live together. It was not by this land, that place. Everything that we have was done at the Berlin Conference because the people didn't want to fight among themselves. And they already have located where they wanted, and this was a resource grab. This is what all is, and this is what it is. It still is. Okay. So how did they split the country? They split those countries. It was easier. They use natural barriers. That's what we call them. Natural, if they were mountains, if they were river. Okay. That's how we use most of them. In fact, during those times, river were used for commerce. They were easy to navigate. They could put a little kingdom. They can put a little boat. They could require a power on there to be able to move around, to carry heavy load. Okay. So if they use this river, like for instance, the Chattahoochee in Georgia, it goes all the way. The people can be in, that's the same country, though, America. The Georgian and the people from, I think, what they call it, Tennessee, they can be fighting who wepa. So that river is the demarcation. Okay. And I am hearing that this fight started because Liberia was digging sand. Liberia bringing people digging everywhere. We are focused on begging from country to country, begging because we are lazy. I hear the leadership of Liberia telling Liberians they're lazy. But they who are leading, who's supposed to lead the church, supposed to show us how to get to work on time. At my job, my principal is there before the door open, before anybody else. Okay? She's the one who sends out the email every Sunday evening to tell us what's happening during the week, what happened over the weekend, what the schedule is going to be like. Before we get there, we lead by example. The teachers have to get there before the students get in. We must be standing in front of our door when the students arrive, or our to the point, or we're outside. So the leader is supposed to lead by example. You can't ask people what you can give. You can't take all the resources in the country. You make Monrovia, where all of you live in comfort. Well, because they tell you when no electricity, that means no electricity in Monrovia. When there's no medication, that means there's no medication in Monrovia. If the country collapsed, that means Monrovia has collapsed. The whole, about 143 miles, however, 1,043 miles, however it is, let me look for the number. It does not matter. It's just our little place. Okay, that little place. Then you have the other people begging. People should go home. Should go to, if you came from Grand Jida, go to Grand Jida. If you come from Nima, go to Nima. For me, that's good. The Nima I want to live, although I grew up in Boris and grew up in Monrovia. That's where I know. But you know what? Let the Nimba people, the Bassa people, the Grand Jidian, let them keep the funding for the resources that come into the country. Let them pay taxes to the national government in Monrovia. Let's see what country will be built, where people will go. And I started the conversation saying, people have to understand the human environment, why people move to places the way they move, why people live where they live, why people want to be places where they live. They be because it's the human environment. Okay, people who we call nomadic, semi-nomadic, you know why they move around? They have to move around to find water, to stay alive. So they will move to places that their lives will be easier. Why people move closer where there's water? Why people move closer to where they're fertile soil, so they can be able to live off of the land. That's where human move. Why are people moving to Monrovia? That where their opportunity. So if the government focus on, and I always, y'all didn't hear me say, if you empower the people will build their country. We experienced war 14 years. We saw our border coming. I remember when my cousins were killed. My Ganta, where you call Ganta, has fallen. My uncle George Coco, when he went to really start telling Nima people, if you're from Nimba, if you don't get back to Nimba, there will be no Nimba country by the time Charles Taylor is done. That was the beginning of the fall of Charles Taylor, when all the fighters left and went back to Nimba, because the people were coming from across Guinea and attacking that Ganta area. Y'all remember Mortar? I was not there. People were telling the story because it's recorded. So the guy would say, Mortar, more mortar. He would ask, your father there? They say, no, more mortar. Your uncle there? No, more mortar. Your mother there? No, more mortar. If y'all never heard it, y'all listen. And they were throwing the mortar in that place. Okay. After that, and you know, my family, most of you don't know, Mana people come from Guinea also. Pele people come from Guinea also. Okay, and you all know the other side of Lofa country. My family, half of my family took refuge in Guinea. In fact, my dad said we have a town in Guinea. Our name is Molly. Okay, we have family in Guinea. We have a town in Guinea. And my dad said when he knew that he was not going to make it back to Liberia, because I've been on this side. He said, now this won't hurt me. I really wanted to take you so you can go see your other family people, to meet them so you can know them. You will fit right on in. Guineans and Liberians are family. You have to find a way to fix this. But hopefully this government can learn. And successive government, hopefully we can prioritize the people. That it's not about, today, and I'm going to be petite, I'm going to be small, petty. The people can say, French people say petite, American people say petty. I see Winter said the Minister of State of our portfolio were wearing a Jaguar glasses that cost 1,700. Imagine. I'm going to bring this to bear. Something I gossip about Mr. Cummings, Alexander Cummings. I've seen Mr. Cummings continuously, at least in the past, since about 2012, because 2013, I have just returned when he sworn in the community. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Mr. Cummings, but I'm going to gossip about it a little bit. I seen that puppy. If you're watching, you'll see the picture. Almost the same shirt. Maybe there are 3 or 5 or 4 of them. This is a multi-millionaire. In triple digits. Who give tens and thousands of dollars to charity each year, to education, to STEM. Who here will supply safe houses that is owned by government, bedding, food, other sanitary stuff to them without asking for anything. But you, who's sucking up the government. You know, the funny thing here with Liberian people, everybody who out of the people who are working for government, they stole money, sent it to them here, who are packing up, going to Liberia, building everything else, calling themselves CEO, they're millionaire in America. And you ask them what their background, what job did they do, what businesses did they have. We have the few people who defrauded the people country during the corona. And packed and went home. If you are in Liberia and you see, and you're buying $10,000 watch, 20, I'm not saying when I live, this is not, I'm not talking about other people, because there are other people in Liberia who got businesses and they can afford to do that. But if you're working for government, and you spend money like that, you know, we have a saying in America, wealth whisper. That these people just loud. About $1,700 glasses. I'm not saying it, I mean, it's not something to pay attention to, but I'm just saying. This girl will call me at 10 o'clock in the, but leave me alone, man. She don't even know what she need to call me from. Okay. I called Prince, then he showed up. He told me he was coming, but he's not here. So I'm gonna go ahead. My time here is over. I'm usually 1 hour. But before I leave, I know there are people who are going back and forth with me on my post that I made about Samuel Jackson and his wife. So it's three things that I talk about. I talk about being responsible and protecting your territory. I talked about the role of leaders. Leaders are not just president. It's like I always told the story about David and his son Solomon. I said before David, when David decided to build a temple, God told you, you can't build it. Your son will build my temple. David didn't walk away and say, you know what, when you can, you will find your own. Like the report can say the child will find their own. David went into full swing and start. Okay. David went into full swing, start doing research. Where his son needed to go, if he needed a stone, some of the best stone cutters in the world. David made a contact if he wanted rock for the temple, where he needed to go, where the people, Caspian, where those people who made the best possible rugs, okay, or carpet in the world, where they were. Roofer, break layers, and he compiled those. So he had a blueprint. He had a starting point where his son would start to make his life easier. That's the essence of leadership. Those are symbolic of leadership, showing the way where you want your children to go. Whether they listen or not, that's on them, but you should have that. We have house burning and burning and burning and burning. We say that CDC. The papa got 45 years. When the papa came, he will set the tune. Listen, I am one of the most patriotic people you will find. I believe patriotism in supporting your country at all times and supporting your government when it deserves it. I will acknowledge when they do right. And I keep saying, from the words out of Pape Boaka mouth in 2017, when he said, we are irresponsible, we live beyond our means, we need to balance the budget. I thought the old man would come and say, you know what? Here is we're gonna first, before we get to power, here is the salary scale. Nobody that we're gonna hire, we will offer you. Nobody in my government will make more than $2,500 a month. That would be the executive level. That's almost 5,000 positions. You have the judiciary, from the Supreme Court to the lower court to the what do you call it, the justice of the peace, the different county attorneys. Then you got the different municipals that would be what the superintendent, the city managers, and all the group. The zones you bring them to almost. You know, I did not know that how much power. I know it's a unitary state. Those of us who teach government, we say unitary state, unitary government is the mother of all dictatorship, because it mimics democracy, but it's not democracy, because everything is centralized. One man is in the power of everything else. So it's not decentralized per se. So if a decision is made among the legislature, they have 103 people. You have to convince 103 people to make a decision in the interest of the people. But you have one man who can just swing and say, this is it, and everything else out. Our local judges, county judges are now elected. Our superintendent are now elected. Our city mayors are now elected, although based on our constitution, our city mayor used to be elected until Ellen Johnson Sirleaf decided they were going to move it because she wanted to give position to Madam Mary Brewer, and she thought the people would not do it. They would not confront her. So I'm gonna go and get more information on the map. They had Guinea were partition, but that place belonged to Liberia. Are we in a position to go to war? That will not be my decision. But I will tell you what. When you don't handle your business, people will handle you. And I hear some of you writing on Facebook and says, since I became president, Liberia is being disrespected. You all need to stop. You all need to stop. There is not, in my opinion, a significant change here. We are yet to find out. You know, when Donald Trump came to power, Donald Trump got his Project 2025. People read it before he even came and started unfolding. What is our project? When John Mahama came to power, right now, Ghana's status is about to change. When he hurt everybody from taking their gold out of the country. Your gold is in King George. They bring helicopter. Y'all don't have helicopter to use it to airlift people to save lives. But the Turkish government have helicopter in your village. When your people stand up, you send your police to kill them. And that's why when the people say nothing has changed, Liberians are still second-class citizens in the country. Our natural resources are still living raw. Gold is about to be diamond. Most buying ability will be in gold. While a few of the people who have served in government, your presidents, your vice president, your lawmaker, all have share in those contracts. And the Liberians are walking around it. They're just living by the day until God called them home. Leadership is about solving problems. So do not sit on people's neck because they're expressing the frustration and they're telling you this is not their war. That's why we elect leaders, to serve and protect. That's why you train, like we're supposed to have the best possible trained army in West Africa. Most of the Liberian, the last army were trained here in Fort Benning. The snipers installed in the reconstruction time that came, round light, they're here. Those people, engineers from American, what do you call it, Navy that came to Liberia to train, and those the best among them were sent away to come and get training. So you don't last those people. You don't pay your doctors any money. Everybody want to be, when you hear Liberian people graduating, you hear policies, accounting, politician, conflict resolution. The word is designing drones. They're looking for nuclear physicists, neurosurgeon. Liberians are smart. I always reference one of the smartest, best doctor in my state of 10 million people is a Liberian former refugee. His name is Dr. Massoud. He's a trauma doctor, a neurosurgeon, who can put literally dead people together right here. When Darius DeLong came here, there's so many people that came to my house for us to support him. You were right here. Came straight from West, sitting here. Dr. Massoud. In my family, right here, around here, you know how many nurses practitioners we got? Young people. Some of them even reach 30. Some of them pulling the PhDs or doctorate in nursing, medical degrees. These are kids that were living and calling us for rent. They come to America no time later. It means Liberians are brilliant. We have not given our children the opportunity. We have not created a space for them to stand to find their voice. We keep looting the nation. Why won't Guinea come for us? The oldest nation. Our children, the drugs everywhere. Our children. Now we're turning our boys into whatever we want to turn them into. The churches no longer speak. I slept a little bit, but let me cut this so I can go. I needed to be here for an hour. I have spent an hour and 30 minutes, so I'm gonna go. Liberians, if you have your belief, respect other people's belief. Some of you come on a people post and you're very rude. If somebody says something you don't like, you can counter it politely. We are all learning. I used to block people, but I try not to block people. I try to respond one time. The second time you come back and you still be rude, I just delete your comment. No one is more patriotic in our country than the other. Most of you are talking because of your government. The other people are talking because of the last government. You're attacking each other. We're not focused on the issue. That is our problem. We were dancing for 250 machines yesterday. 2 weeks later, the whole street in Banga. Is that Banga? Or Kakata? got burned, no ambulance, no fire truck. What's our priority? We need yellow machine. Do we need that many? We don't have money, but we're going to pull $4 million aside to give it to Brani Samuka to run the department, although we have public works. We have I think what we call it GSA. So we create other agencies. John Mahama came to power. He reduced the different ministries to reallocate that money and put it into education and in other places that is important right now. I would have thought the goal would be to hire people who are cross-trained, that they can double the work and reduce the burden on the government and put the funds into education, where the world is headed. Germany was totally destroyed. You know what they did when they came to power? The money that the world gave them to rebuild, they built their people up in places that they needed. But just like Liberia need help. Liberia need people in construction. Liberia need people who understand fishery and training into marine life. That's a market. The world needs it. Japan, what we're taking rights from Japan. Japan is an island collection. We call it the Patagon. It's a collection of islands. It's not even a place put together. The last time I see Liberian people, our minister, they were taking pictures with Saudi Arabia, donating rice. How in hell Saudi Arabia, a desert that takes seawater and turn it into drinking water, that order their food, that killing your brothers and sisters in Sudan for their land. How in heaven they're giving you rice, but you're buying $1,700 sunglasses to show to who? You're buying for the $8,000 Rolex watch. You're buying $1 million car. You're how? Folks, thank you, all of you who show up here. My baby sister is here. I see her. Okay. King, thank you. Mama Bosom, thank you. Brother Patrick, thank you. Ulysses, a long time. Zeze, Inatus, welcome. Sayata, we're supposed to talk with Brother Emmanuel, always. Yogi, welcome. Sis Letty, oh my God, my sister is here today. Lord, you won't leave me alone with your tea today, man. With your tea today. You know, says Letty, I like to talk about it, but let me leave something for tomorrow morning. I will talk about that tomorrow morning. I just saw Wellington. Hey, brother, there go my girl. This is my survivor girl right here. Let me show you. You're here, the woman who need I can be calling. What place she here? Let me show her. When I always reference right here, yes, she is here. When I reference, I will call you. When I always reference, I say when during the war, the woman I always reference that her name right here. When I say we were the first volunteer to go to the barracks, that my journey didn't start today when nobody will go. Yeah, when I raised my hand to go, she and her husband, we went, because we knew there were women and children at that barracks. So when some of you who just coming on with I'm not trying to fit in. You know, the people can say, "La man, say my witness for yeah, my witness here." And I always tell you, every time I say your call a bunch of questions, she will tell you that. Charlotte Bantu, they will tell you that. Ask my mom, she read up the street. But we will talk tomorrow morning, folks. Gregory Coleman and the Liberian people, let me say to all of you. Somebody, when I wrote that paper about that stuff on my page, let me clarify again. I have not said to anyone that Samuel Jackson didn't abuse his wife, nor did I say he did, because I was not there. You know, some of you came in my inbox, some of you called to try to convince me You're a women advocate, you're doing this. Yes, I'm a woman advocate, but I'm a justice advocate, first and foremost. I'm not selective. I don't practice a situational ethics or situational justice. My thing is humanity. I'm a humanist. I want the truth. It's just like when everybody was running up and down here, Prince Johnson, saying Prince Johnson died. It seems that was the only time that we needed justice. Today, when they say Samuel Jackson, I'm not going to listen. So I will say they say, okay. Say he killed not he, they killed Mr. Sharif, and everybody now want justice. I sympathize. This is what I fought for all my adult life since I've been in the country. This is what I protested for. You were cussing me. I was still long inside. Justice cannot be selective. I'm saying they will hurt people, but justice cannot be selective. We want Liberia to move forward. We should get answer for every life that we're taking. That's what I asked for. I remember when the red pickup truck would come in Matadi Estate and collect people and carry them right down the airfield and murder them in cold blood. I remember when Jimmy body was brought to the embassy with knives cut into his body, his intestine hanging out, his blood pooling. When I said Jimmy, there were two of them. I don't remember the other guy name. I remember how my body just shut down. The night at the Lutheran compound and the Methodist compound. I remember when Uncle Jabata came back and said, oh, the rebel came into Bound and they were retreating. They killed them. No, it was Grandpa Bullet that was killed. That was a crime man who settled in the Makante, married a Gio and a man or woman. They killed their own. And they thought they killed a Gio man. Yes, they killed a Gio and a Gio woman. Yeah. So we want justice. It cannot be selective. And I'm sorry that, they have to relive that. We live that every day. My Uncle Honest, who did nothing to nobody, but he was light-skinned, and he didn't speak Mano, nor did he speak Gio. His mother was Esther Lou Cooper. That was his only crime. And we keep telling Liberians, we cannot move forward. When the people that just move on, no nation I know that has suffered war can just move on. History will repeat itself because we have refused to learn for it. So if what we have refused to learn for history will continue to come back to us, and this is what is happening. We saw Chancellor cross into Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone people are fixing the border. They fixed the road. Liberia has done nothing. We saw Unimo, whatever, lawyers cross into Nimba and murder people in the place. They have to push them back. In fact, these were brothers and sisters, Guineans and Liberians, especially in the border. There are Mana people right there. We got cousins right there across the bridge. There we are. Now we're going to allow the French people, the white man, to come again to tell us you're going to kill each other, so they can get the natural resources to go power and live their life and call us savages. When do we learn, African? When do we learn? The first thing John Mahama came, he told you what he was going to do. He started cutting his agency. Every month, John Mahama, I'm not saying Ghana is way ahead. They're trying. Rome was not built in one day, but he has a plan. He showed his what do you call it? His experience. Our banking on Papier Boaka, when he said we live beyond our means, we were. I thought he would come in and say we're gonna best. I know you supported me. I know you did this for me, but we'll pay you back. Okay, so let's create a big thing. Let's get some of the smartest of us all experience and put them in places that can expand this economy. Okay, here what we're going to do. You want to work for the government, that's fine, but here is the ceiling. Those who want to work for us, we're going to put some of these agencies together. You have to be able to multitask. That's why today in America we cross-train. Right now on my job, okay, they're looking for teachers who can teach 2-3 subjects at a time. If you certify that you're flexible, you can move around. Some people go and do the test one time and get it from K1 through 12. Some people do K1 through 8, elementary to middle school. Okay, majority of our teachers got PhD. They can go there if they don't want to teach elementary, they don't want to teach middle school, they don't want to teach high school, they can go and be professors. And those are the more tedious work to do when you're dealing with kids. What is required of you to be a K1 through 12 teacher is more than to be a professor. It is. Because they're kids. There's so much state certification and clearances that is involved in that. Tomorrow morning, I will talk to you about, I'm going to talk to Dr. Richardson first. I'm going to talk to you about Rockefeller. I see the guy Rockefeller and say they're calling him to be a doctor. I don't know when he got his license, okay? But I have kept this, send the death of Odell, and now I'm going to come for him. I know you're going to come right at me, but I don't mind. I will take him on. Okay? So, Liberian, as I go, we should always seek to find the truth. Not who we hate. Not because somebody is obnoxious. Not because somebody is rude. It does not take away their innocence. We don't. Good night, everyone. But I'm about to call you. Good night. Thank you for all of you who tune in. Wellington, all of you, but Sis Letty, I think I call the rest of you names. Thank you so much tonight. We will be back on Thursday night around the same time. I didn't want to change the time because when the time changes, it does not change in Liberia. So I want to keep it consistent. So I don't come on Thursday at 8, then come on high. So we'll just keep it 8 o'clock. The flow will stay right here at 8 o'clock. I know it's late, but in the fall, when I come back, we'll be on the air in Liberia. So that air time, I'm thinking if it's Saturday or Sunday. Since Saturday, I'm in the street, we'll do the kitchen maybe on a Sunday, but I'm trying to say we're going to be on the air. All right. My job is, that's what I do. I teach, I study history, I study science. I have a background in telecommunication, electronics. I have an MBA. Yeah. So, and I'm an educator. So my story, I love telling story. You know, like my kids today now, they're monitoring and Miss Martin, we heard about the Strait of Hormuz here. We learned it here. Oh, we learned because they're learning world history. And we came from Southwest Asia. We traveled to Africa. And our focus right now is in South and Eastern Asia. So what we ask, because the kids will be like, why do we learn history? So we fix the future. So we extract what was good from the past and build upon that. There's a saying that goes, those who remember history, or those who control history control the future. Those who do not remember history, they're doomed to repeat it. And that's where Liberia is. I'll talk to you in the morning. See you on my 10-minute talk. Okay? And I will be talking about, thank you so much, Wellington. I will be talking about seizure, epilepsy. That's the same family. One is elevated. And when a Liberian person posted that seizure or epilepsy does not kill, I told them it's a lie. There are about 60 million people with epilepsy or seizure in the world. About 140,000 die each year. Either they didn't seek treatment on time, or they lost oxygen to their brain, or they just got attacked to the wrong place and there was nobody around. Some people, back when we say the person crazy, in manner they say me and the bedrolake. Sometimes some people, if you're around fire and nobody around and they think cash and they can fall in the fire. In our area, we are taught your grace time is within 2 minutes to give the shot, no more than 5. 5 minutes, you have to have nurses or somebody on the scene. Some of the time when they go off, they lose oxygen to the brain. This girl were in the hospital for more than 3 hours, I can surmise. All right. And the cut on top of her head is from the operation. It's from the operation. So I'm not sure how quickly they got to her. And we also learned there were no oxygen. Okay? And folks, when we are in distress, we act differently. We emote differently. When you live as long as I have lived, and you experience some of the things that I've experienced, you're seeing what I've seen, your look on life can be different. We're Liberians. We're Black people. We're Africans. And what saddens me the most is when the rest of the world is saying to us, African, the only way we can survive as a race is to unite. And we are fighting. Everybody wants to go to war. You know how Traoré have been able to survive this past 3-4 years? What have kept in your life? The Sahel state. Sahel. A book we're reading, I think the book I have from 2020 that we're teaching from. It said by 2025, is it 2025, 2035, that whole region, the Sahel, we're going to be all desert. People will not be able to live there because the rolling hill is coming in because of the, how you call it, that boy is building tree. It's becoming fertile. They're building factory. Those are all the human environment, the human impact, or the human effect. We can turn anything around. God give us gifts. So where Papa Boaka want to talk, this one I agree with him. But while he talking, I hope he has a plan how to lead us. I will see you in the morning. I keep saying that. I talk more than 1 hour and 30 minutes. I didn't have the energy tonight. I almost didn't come on. So good night, everybody. I love you guys. Let's do the Thursday night. And let's see where we are tomorrow morning. 10 minutes talk. I'm thinking about what to talk about. I'm going to call this Prince guy back. I don't know why he didn't come on. I call him, he didn't answer. But we'll talk. So good night, everyone. And I will end you with this story with this girl is calling me. Let me see where is Brian McGill. Where is the story of Brian McGill? Okay. So let's see Brian McGill again. I'm going to end with this.
Tiawan Gunglo, longtime human rights lawyer and former Solicitor General, says police have failed to provide the full DNA investigative report that cleared former Deputy Minister Bryant McGill in a rape case involving a 14-year-old girl. Police say DNA testing conducted abroad and cell phone data excluded McGill from the alleged crime and led them to issue what they describe as a police confirmation clearance. Civil society groups say the case remains open and transparency is critical to maintaining public trust in sexual violence investigations. For more on this story, go to Front Page Africa online.
Okay, so while I'm here, with this Brian McGill guy, and I'm going to end with this. I keep saying this, repeating myself, but I will. Cell phone data cannot exclude him. Okay. Where they say he was. Maybe the phone was not on him. That's common sense. That is common sense. It's common as ABC. Okay. Maybe he didn't have that particular phone on him. I know we were told, okay, that Brian McGill told the people that he had never met the little girl, and somebody put him on the site, why did he lie? So you stop the nonsense. We need to do better than that. Good night, everyone. That's Brian McGill. I'm going to stop the sharing. Thank you so much. And I will say at this point, truly, good night to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's talk Thursday night, same time, same place. Thank you.